Alderman Beezley.
Mayor, I'd like to take just a few moments, and it'll probably take me about 10 or 15, and I apologize for this late hour, but I do want to bring a few comments forward. Based on the last couple of board meetings, I realized that it's time I present some thoughts. The catalyst, really, for my comments tonight was something that Alderman Miguel brought to the forefront relative to Prop S. So this evening I would like to address 5 issues. And as I mentioned, it will take about 15 minutes. First is the concerns regarding our revenue stream in the city and our continued need to defer repairs, staff increases, etc., and how we are approaching the difficult decisions of Prop S. Second, I would like to briefly mention our staff. Third, I'd like to discuss the need to consider focused priorities for this board. Let's get creative. Fourth is the how-tos of securing residents' input. And fifth, I will be making a challenge to this board. Some of my comments may seem like a rather broad brush of the topics, but I'm trying to cover many issues to stimulate those with creative thoughts. The presentation and comments will take about, as I said, 15 minutes. First, the concerns regarding our revenue stream in the city. As I mentioned in my intro, Alderman Miguel was really my catalyst for my presentation tonight. As he mentioned recently, that one of the factors, just one of the factors for revenue loss in our community would be the loss of dollars coming in from Prop S, which would be ending in 2011 per our recent proposal. As I recall, in March of this year, Alderman Duncan, Alderman Pickle, and I voted no to the proposal presented to us by Alderman Miguel to end Prop S in 2011. I voted no, as I felt even though we had literally paid off Prop S, it was necessary to replenish our city's reserves, as the mayor mentioned this evening, and Prop S is a tax already levied. This was, if I recall correctly, an option approved by the voters on the original ballot, and I feel we should continue Prop S to 2012. It is, with that said, vital we not go beyond 2012 with that Prop S, as that is the date the residents of Crestwood gave us to totally resolve this commitment. 2012 would provide additional time to evaluate fully Crestwood Court's plans and assist with replenishing city reserves. Second comment, our staff. City staffing has clearly been addressed in our community over the past few years. In 2003, we had 130.5 FTEs, and today in 2010, we have 94 staff. Further cuts in staffing will most likely impact city services relative to safety and security. Each meeting, I try to place myself in staff's position and how they really must feel with all the negativity and the comments by some aldermen that seem to reflect a lack of hope for our community's future. I personally cannot live in that world of negativity and lack of hope. I don't feel I was elected to sit each meeting and regularly listen to those aldermen who choose to rehash figures, plans, and policies and procedures at the meeting when we have been asked to work through these questions and concerns prior to the meeting with city staff and department directors, which leads to my third agenda item, which is to discuss focused priorities for the board. I feel that it's time we as aldermen begin to do what we were elected to do, which is to make logical, positive decisions and work on bringing this city back. Boards in most entities that I am familiar with are the final authority, but are not the ones that should be interfering in day-to-day operations of staff. Our financials are now transparent, and they're viewable by all on the city's website. Over the past 5 years, the city has reduced debt significantly. We now have what I feel is a solid infrastructure being built by our city administrator, who I consider to be a great gentleman, in collaboration with department directors, management, staff, and the board. As a board, we are here to encourage and provide the support we can for new businesses. We may not want to continually drill our new current businesses until they want to leave or not join our community. In the recent past, we have had several businesses come before the board to address various proposals. A to Z Auto and their U-Haul project, T-Barn, Sappington Barn, Fifth Third Bank, and Cybergs, all were truly put to the test. After what I consider very intense questioning by a couple aldermen, one of those entities chose to withdraw their proposal to join our city. Is this how we want to be perceived, or should we consider being a focused, strategic planning board that encompasses such things as vision, team, creative development planning, routine city business, updates on community plans and events, etc., etc.? Possible considerations would be to change our board agenda to include things that would interest the residents first, so they can attend and learn what is most important to them. With that said, I am proposing just some thoughts of things that we as a board might want to consider. I challenge we get creative and we start thinking outside of the box. With these items, will these items bring hundreds of thousands of dollars to the bottom line? I have no idea. But maybe it can be the first step for this board. We're still under item number 3, focus considerations for the board, and these are a broad brush of many things to think about. Maybe start a campaign, let's rebuild Crestwood. The War Memorial Group comes to mind. It is a perfect example of a group trying to do something extremely creative, things for our community, and they are planning a donation campaign to accomplish their goals. Animal control, presented tonight. They're another perfect example. What other campaigns might be beneficial for our community that could be driven by the board with support from residents with special expertise areas? Focus on the positive things we are doing. National Night Out, e-newsletter, Route 66 Classic Car Cruise, family-friendly entertainment at Crestwood Court, Shred It Day, Sanders Park upgrade, Discover Crestwood, summer concert series at White Cliff, 8th Annual Kids Triathlon, White Cliff Summer Playhouse, and grants our city staff apply for and attain, and many more. We then need to evaluate what events were successful, why, what age groups attended, could we have advertised better, do we want to establish traditions for our city? Do we want the pumpkin patch? Do we want Easter egg hunts, which we already have in White Cliff, Santa Claus arrival, Christmas tree at the mall? We could go on forever. Focus on our city's rich history. Conduct tours at houses and sites and charge for those. Tie with the Historical Society. Publish on our website the places that welcome our senior citizens, where they can have daily gathering places for book clubs, conversation, teas, and some who enjoy quilting. Recommend gatherings and secure sponsors for barbecues, concerts, outdoor movies, dancing. Charge for those. Set as a campaign to raise dollars to apply maybe to a pumper truck or a police car. Secure our media partner support to help well promote in advance these events that are going on in a very positive way. Promo with large banners and partner with Crestwood Courts and our businesses, and let us place banners in key areas, not forever, but partially. Maybe add as a byline to Discover Crestwood by Crestwood First. We could be, if we really put our efforts at it, the first community to come back in economic hard times, and let's build on what we have. How many cities can actually say their neighbor is Grants Farm? They have 5 parks with White Cliff as our gym and a water park. We have historic sites. Crestwood Court winning national and international awards. Are they full? No, they're not. But they're trying. Incredible businesses in our community, as was evidenced this evening by some who spoke forward. An awesome school district called Lindbergh. A strong faith community. And a few years ago, we even had a former president arrive at Barnes & Noble. And to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, we live in the heart of historic Route 66, which runs right through our community. How can we possibly, on this board, be negative? How can we possibly? We need to get more intense at evaluating all opportunities for grants.